Cimoooooooo! What's going on, guys? It's Cimo here, and today I thought I'd bring to you a very, very late YCS Las Vegas wrap-up. Now, I attended YCS Las Vegas, which I believe was the second YCS of the format, and it was awesome. It was my first YCS ever. There's over 1,000 people. People were running some crazy decks because like the meta wasn't really defined yet, and oh man, I had a blast. But I thought I would just give you a deck profile and a quick rundown of my matchups, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So, as you can see, I run Fire Kings. Fire Kings is my archetype. I love just generating advantage off of destroying everyone else's advantage. It's so much fun. And I just love the way the deck works. And let's just get right into it. So, triple Garunix. He is your boss monster of the deck. 2,700 beater. When he's destroyed by a card effect, he special summon him on your next any next standby phase, and then he dark holes the field. He's so good. Not a lot of decks have answers for him unless it's in their side deck, and people just hate this card. It is so much fun. So then we have 3 Yaksha to supplement that. Yaksha is your 1,800 beater that helps get Garunix from your hand into the graveyard. He can also set off a myriad of other cards in the deck, but that's his main purpose, and he's awesome. Triple Barong, he's your searcher of the deck. I was thinking about running 2 because sometimes it's difficult to get him to be destroyed by a card effect to set his effect off. But overall, at the end of the day, he did what he was supposed to do, and I was really happy I ran 3. Also another 1,800 level 4. I ran 2 Bear. After the tournament, I would now run 1. 2 is too many. Unless I'm playing Geargia, that's the only time I would run 2. But he's such a good card, but 2 of them, if you open with 2 Bear in your hand, you're not in good shape. But overall, he was good. I would usually side out 1 of them for a side deck card, so it wasn't that bad. 1 Coach Soldier Wolfbark. He's amazing. I'm not mad that he was limited this format. I only ran 1. I thought 2 and 3 was way too many. There's so many combos you can do with him that just make him ridiculous. And he's so good. I love him. My tech cards, 2 Fencing Fire Ferret. So many people thought I was playing Geargia because turn 1 I would just set a Ferret and then just set some back row. And then so they would go all out, overcommit, and then when they attacked into what they thought was Geargia armor, I'd flip up Ferret, they would just destroy whatever they had built up, and they were just so salty. It was hilarious. But again, level 4, fire type. His effect triggers when he's destroyed by card effect or even by battle, so he's so much synergy with this deck. I love main decking him. And then I ran 1 Neospatian Grand Mole, which is hilarious because I just did a video about using him as a tech card this format. In testing, he did everything I wanted him to. He's bouncing back Geargia armor, he's bouncing back Linde. At the tournament, I did not draw into him 1 single time. And I was disappointed because I wanted to, but, it just didn't happen. So, it happens. Sometimes you don't get what you want. So that's the monster lineup. Spells. Triple Onslaught of the Fire Kings. This is the card that makes this deck broken. You can special summon nearly every every monster in your deck with this card. 90% of the time you go for Garunix. If you open with this turn 1, if you open with more than one of these turn 1, you're like guaranteed to win. But it's just, this card is absolutely amazing. Like, I don't know how it hasn't even been semi-limited, but this card is fantastic. Then we have 3 Circle of the Fire King. This card is another broken card because a lot of people are running Fiendish Chain. This card doesn't care about Fiendish Chain. It gives no fucks because if they Fiendish Chain your Garunix, say, for example, all you do is just circle the Fire King's Garunix, special summon something else, and then Garunix got destroyed by your circle, so then he comes back on your next standby phase, or on the next standby phase, and they just wasted their Fiendish Chain. So, yeah, this Circle the Fire Kings is incredible. We have 3 Fire Formation Tenki, another Searcher. You're generally going to go for Yaksha when you use this card because you want to ensure you have a way to get Garunix out of your hand. But there are some situations where you want either Bear or Wolfbark. but that's mainly its purpose. It also bumps Barong and Yaksha up to 1900, which is really good. Just solid card. Triple Upstart Goblin. I do not care if my opponent has 12,000 life points, because if I get the cards I need, I'm going to win. That is how this deck works, so speed is everything. Only 2 MST. In retrospect, I would run 3. I did not expect the amount of back row that I anticipated, so these definitely put in their work. I side decked the 3rd MST, so I always was siding that in, but yeah, I definitely run 3 in the future. These are both Pot of Duality. I do not have Pot of Duality at the moment, so my friend let me borrow his. I was happy with 2. 3 I thought would have been far too many, and generally you're normal summoning with this deck, so special summoning, that doesn't matter. But there was a few times I would actually Duality into Duality, only running 2, so that's why I thought 3 would be way too many. The 1-ofs, 1 Lance. Funny thing about this, the whole purpose of this was to protect Garunix from cards like Bottomless or Deep Prison, anything that would just make Garunix dead in the graveyard. Every time I would set this, it would either get MST'd or just like it would get destroyed by something, and I would never get a chance to use it. So, like, okay, it's like thanks. 1 Rekindling. You have 6 Rekindling targets in this deck: triple Yaksha and triple Barong. This is the sackiest card in the deck. It is just, I drew into this late game one time. I Rekindling for 4, and the guy just scooped, because, like, Rekindling's Rekindling. It doesn't matter if it's at 1. I actually only liked 1, along, like, with Wolfbark. I only preferred 1 of each of them, so, again, the ban list didn't even really affect my build. 1 Book of Moon. This card is such a good offensive and defensive spell. I would wreck Exceed plays with this once they committed. One time I special summoned Garunix, he bottomless, and then I Book of Moon my own Garunix, and he had no way of getting over Garunix, so my Garunix stayed alive and avoided the bottomless. It was awesome. And finally, 1 Dark Hole. Like I said, every monster in your deck generally gains you advantage from when it's destroyed by a card effect, so there's no reason not to run a Dark Hole, and yeah, you could Dark Hole your own Garunix, and it doesn't even matter. So that's the spells. And for the traps, quickly, Call the Haunted, Torrential, Solemn, Compulse, and that is a bottomless. Only 5 traps. I was really happy with them. That's all I really needed. That's a 40-card deck. So, moving quickly into the side deck, double Fossil Dyna. I am so happy I chose this, because I would side this in against Geargia. I was really ready for Mermail and stuff too, but I sided in against Hieratics. Such a good card. It can backfire if Garunix is live and I play this, but it never happened. So it was definitely a good choice. 1 Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. This is the side out for one of the Garunixes I run in case I ran into Burn or just anything that was super back row heavy. I never sided it in, unfortunately, but I figured it was a really good option against Burn, because they really wouldn't have anything to do against this card, so I was happy I sided it. And for the monsters, 1 DD Crow. This is for the mirror match. This is one way how you wreck this deck, is if you can DD Crow their Garunix. So it was for the mirror match. I actually sided this in against Bujins once, and I went for game, and I DD Crow'd their hair when they had no cards in hand, so their Yamato was just dead. It was pretty awesome. The 3rd MST, like I said, I would have main decked it. Triple Imperial Iron Wall. This was for Hieratics, Mythic Rulers, really just everything that banishes. This is also a good counter side pick, because if they side in, usually people side in Debunk, or like I said, DD Crow, or anything like that. You side in Imperial Iron Wall, oh my god, it just wrecks their day, because then, say they kill Garunix and then they debunk it, you can just flip Iron Wall, and then Debunk is useless, so it's a good card. Double Light Imprisoning Mirror. Bujins, Hieratics, this card put in work, and I drew it every time I needed it. It was fantastic. Double Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Ophion wrecks this deck hard. Luckily, it wasn't an issue, but I was using it for Evil Swarm, Ghost Tricks, what else? Beelza, like Destiny Hero decks. I never needed it, but it was there in case I did. Double skill drain. I cited this in mainly against Geargias because it just totally wrecks their deck. And I didn't main deck this because a lot of like hieratic rulers and stuff run skill drain in the main deck, so I figured there's no point to main it because they're going to have it anyway, because everything in my deck triggers in the graveyard. So it benefited me in the long run if they ran it and I didn't. So, and finally, for the side deck, 1 Eradicator Epidemic Virus. This card will wreck Prophecy, it will wreck Burn, anything that's super spell trap heavy, this card will wreck it. Since I run nearly all level 4s, you just go into Crazy Box, set this, flip it, and you pretty much win. And then the extra deck, Beast Dweller, Tiger King, you know, you run all Beast Warriors, you can get tanky, he's awesome. Kagasuchi. Kagasuchi is such a troll because you can go Garunix and Kagasuchi, and if, say, your Garunix gets destroyed by, like, say you onslaughted for him, he comes back, you just detach from Kagasuchi, and you have a 27 and a 2500 beater on board, and it's so funny. Diamond Dire. Your deck is nearly all Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast, so Diamond Dire has all targets. You don't have to target himself. I made him a couple times. He came in clutch. Gaga Cowboy. I went for game with Cowboy 3 times, and Cowboy is just amazing. Like, if you don't run him in a rank 4, in a level 4 deck, like, you need to start. He wins games. Gem Knight Pearl. This is a Lavable Chain. Again, my friend let me borrow. The idea I had behind this, and I actually got to happen once, I made Lavable Chain. I would send Garunix to the graveyard, and then I would circle the Fire Kings, the Lavable Chain, for Garunix, so then it's like an easy, like almost Foolish Burial, 1-turn Garunix. I did it once, and it was awesome, but, you know, it was, Lavable Chain, just Lavable Chain. Since it's fire, it has a lot of synergy with the deck, so I was happy my friend let me borrow it. 1 Maestroke. Maestroke's Maestroke. I used him a couple times, but I can't really think of anything, like, awesome that I did with him. But he's a good card. Black Ship. This was for Boojins. He wrecks Yamato basically. If they don't put Turtle in the grave, you're gonna have a easy time with Boojins. Yeah, Black Ship of Corns is awesome. The one of Crazy Box, like I mentioned, for the Eradicator play. That's the only reason I used him. I wanted to sack one game with him where it was game 3 and we almost went into time, but I didn't since I had the life lead. I didn't want to risk that. Double Honor Arc. This is so good. It is insane because they think they get rid of your 1 Honor Arc and you go into a second one. It is just, it's stupid because it comes totally out of left field. They do not expect you to run 2. Oh, I would not have it any other way. 2 Honor Arc is perfect. And like I said, my friend let me borrow his second one. And to wrap it all up, Steel Swarm Roach. This was for Hieratics, mainly. The one time I played Hieratics, every time I could have made Roach, I had to go into a different play, otherwise I would have lost. So that's that. And to quickly wrap things up, let me talk about my matchups. Game 1 was Hieratics, which I lost 0-2. I got OTK'd turn 3 the first game. Game 2 was Raccoons. The guy basically bent me over the table and just screwed me because I was totally not prepared for Raccoons, and I drew horribly during Raccoons. So, Game 3 was Geargias. I 2-0'd Geargias. This deck is really good against Geargias. Game 4 was Pure Dragoonity, which I thought was really odd since Ravine is banned, and I 2-0'd him. 5th game was Bai. 6th game was Boojins, which I lost in time. I made the dumbest play in Game 3 in time, and it cost me. Turn 4, I summoned a monster, and he bottomlessed, and all he had was a Crane, and he attacked me with Crane to get the life lead, and I lost. I was so discouraged, because if I would have just set, I would have won. Round 7 was another bye. Round 8 was Geargias again, which was a draw. What happened was my opponent won Game 1, and then he soft-cheated Game 2. He had Soul Drain up, and he activated Redox, and it happened there was a judge sitting right next to him, and the judge was like, wait a minute, you can't do that. And it was totally unintentional, but so I got the win for Game 2, and then we were already in time, so it just was a draw. But yeah, you know, it was an awesome time. I would totally do it again. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.